Hello every pony, Scarrow89 here, once again with the next chapter of Magic and Mayhem and Murder. Oh my. Ooh, this one's a long one, not as long as the last one, but only by a couple hundred words, so this will be long. The reason I haven't put up videos for a while, I guess it's been a while, or yesterday, whatever, was because I'm working on a story, and right now I have 8,374 words. Yeah, so, without further ado, Chapter 3, Once Upon a Time in Ponyville. Even though Shawn would never admit it, the leisurely walk back to Ponyville was nice. The evening sun touched the picturesque land with splotches of color, lending the landscape an even more surreal feel than when he first arrived. Back of my throat hurts because of the soreness. So if this is going to be a bad read, I can tell. Shawn and Twilight had an uncharacteristic quiet as they... Shawn and Twilight held an uncharacteristic quiet as they made their way to what looked to be a main road. One admiring the kind of scenery he would normally only view on a canvas. The other contemplating the ramifications of bringing an alien into the town she herself had only recently occupied. However, the natures of these two unlikely companions did not allow silence to reign for long. So, what happened to the king and queen? Twilight looked at him, clearly startled from her own thoughts. Huh? Well, you said the princess ruled over, Equestria. Shawn knew he should probably start to work on not giggling every time he heard a pun. But there must have been a king or queen at some point for there to be princesses, right? Actually, that's a good question. There's a lot of literature on the subject, but as far as any pony... Twilight stopped to stare at Shawn. Sorry, please continue. Anyway, as far as any pony knows, they just showed up one day and deposed the crazy dictator that was making every pony's lives miserable. No pony knows where they came from, nor has any pony gotten a straight answer out of either of them when they asked. She grinned wearily. Trust me, I know. Lord, that was the creator! This person obviously liked his own universe of Equestria more. Oh well. And let me guess, no one really bothered to dig too much into it at the time. What with their goddess princesses making everything magically better? The mayor shook her head. You say that like it's a bad thing. The princess earned their privacy. She frowned at him. You, on the other hand, Shawn made a pacifying gesture with his hand. Okay. Irony on the... Wait, is that... Isnay? Oh! Ixnay on the... Kismicrism. Ugh, I'm sorry. Someone's playing the piano downstairs, and I can't have you focus on that and this at the same time. So I'll be right back. Okay. He's off the piano now, so I guess I'll continue the reading. There it is. Okay. Who else may I know? Let me guess. Really bothered to magically better. The mayor shook her head. You say that like it's a bad thing. The princess earned her privacy. The princesses earned their privacy. She frowned at him. You, on the other hand... Wait, shouldn't that technically be other hoof? I don't know. Shawn made a pacifying gesture with his hand. Okay. Ixnay on the circumcriz criticism. And alking bad about the Princess Tay. On the Chrismicrit criticism. I don't know. He was trying to... That Ixnay thing. I never really knew what that was. Twilight let out a soft giggle at his antics before replying, "It may sound corny, but every pony loves them, and they love us back." The skeptical look on her two-legged friend's face did not deter her. "You'll see for yourself when you meet them." Shawn only shrugged in response. They'd already reached the main road, which was relatively deserted this late in the day. It was probably for the best. Several accidents had already been caused by ponies staring at the strange bipedal creature instead of paying attention to their surroundings. Shawn had actually seen a green earth pony walk his cart into a ditch when he waved hello as they passed. Several profuse apologies and some magical help for the colt. Later, Twilight had asked Shawn to refrain from freaking out the passerbys. As it turned out, Shawn's initial impression of Twilight proved to be right. The inquisitive mare wasted no time in inundating him with questions about his world and its technology. Shawn, however, was not to be out-curious and threw out his own questions for each one he answered. Like this, the two chatted amicably as empty fields slowly became small ranches, then full-blown houses. By the time the town skyline, which was what there was of it, came into view, the sun had fallen beyond the horizon, and Shawn had gotten a basic primer on pony society and history, of which he would probably remember exactly zip come morning. Oh, like nothing. Zero. Nada. We have nada 3. Sorry, that was an old commercial. He never did handle lectures well, though certain things would be hard to forget. Cutie marks, as if their names weren't enough. As soon as I get back, I'm calling Disney. I'll be a millionaire in a week. Before Shawn knew it, he was lost in a fantasy involving royalty and movie rights. Royalties and movie rights, huh? Oh, Shawn. The two companions eventually crested a hill, and Shawn stopped to admire the scenery. The pain in his feet entirely forgotten at the sight of the town. If a child were given a box of crayons, asked to draw up a Victorian-era suburb, spruce it up with some color, and miniaturize it, it would probably have been very similar to what he saw. Nope. I don't think so. Twilight paused alongside him, giving Shawn a moment to take it all in before the two slowly weaned their way through the town. The road never expanded into anything more than a wide swath of trampled dirt as it led them through a large grassy town square and quaint capitol, then ended at a massive tree. "No way!" Shawn muttered. As it turned out, the tree was the library. Windows dotted the multi-story structure, while a balcony sat high amongst the branches and offered what must be a fantastic view of the town proper. The door, like every other door he'd seen so far, was in the style of one in Fluttershy's cottage. Scuff marks and hoof prints littered the grass before it, a telltale sign of a location visited often by many. Twilight casually pushed open both halves of the unlatched front door into complete darkness and stepped in, Shawn following. "Do you usually leave the door open like this?" Shawn's vision was still adjusting, but he thought he could hear breathing and giggling. Oh no. The mare stopped just inside the door so that Shawn nearly bumped into her as she muttered disconsolately, "Oh, Pinkie, surprise!" The burst of light, color, and sound that ensued would have put a fireworks factory explosion to shame. In the brightness of the magically lit room, nearly 24 ponies pushed and shoved their way forward to catch a glimpse of the creature they'd been dragged out of their homes to celebrate. Others hung back, still fearful despite their curiosity and a recent lesson about judging strangers from a friendly neighborhood Zecora. Just saying. Anyway, shaking her head, Twilight turned to look back at Shawn, apology on her lips, only to see an empty doorway. What? She looked back over to her right, where Pinkie Pie had stuck her head under a nearby table, its bright blue cover draped around her shoulders. Twilight had hoped to spend a quiet evening in her study, writing down Shawn's tales of a magic-less world. What, to make like a fanfiction or something? It was a disconcerting concept, one that still made her shiver, but should nevertheless be documented. Now it seemed that she would have to wait until the rest of the town was done with him first. Perhaps I should just go start my letter to the princess. She dismissed the thought. First things first, find the alien. What would Lyra think, seeing Shawn? I mean, her obviously obsessed with hands, as the fandom has totally made her out to be. I don't know. He's probably not going to do that, because the guy's been throwing all other mean stuff out the window. The wazoo. Pinkie Pie, what are you doing? And where's Shawn? Twilight's friend ignored her, continuing to chat with, or more likely, at, whomever was under the table. She was about to ask again when it dawned on her. Wait, who's here? Oh, sorry. People just got home. I'll be right back. Just one more moment, please. And I am back once again. I'm so sorry. It's just that everyone is crazy. Okay. Pinkie Pie, where's Shawn? Dawned on her. Okay. Sighing, Twilight gripped the edge of the tablecloth with magic and yanked, leaving the cupcakes and... Oh, okay. Sorry, that sounded weird. Sighing, Twilight gripped the edge of the tablecloth with magic and yanked, leaving the cupcakes and punch bowl unmoved. The ponies in the room stomped their hooves in appreciation, then gasped at the sight of the very wide-eyed, gangly alien sitting awkwardly beneath the table of party favors. Wait, what? Why would he do that? Shawn is a party animal-ish guy. Hi? Shawn waved at the gawking equestrians as Pinkie Pie pulled him out from under his impromptu hiding place by his shirt. As awkward an introduction as it was, Twilight noted that the human adapted to his new situation rather quickly. She was well aware that had she similarly been mobbed by ponies like he was, she would have cracked under the pressure. Shawn, however, seemed to thrive in the attention, and in no time at all became the main attraction, and Ponyville ponies found a wonderful new source of entertainment as he attempted some of the local games with mixed results. But they were wowed by tales of his world and even managed to coax him out to the dance floor for just a round of square dancing. The hilarious sight finally convincing even the ones in the back to join in the fun. Just as the party was picking up some real momentum, the door burst open to Rainbow Dash and Applejack, each carrying several casks of the farm pony's special cider. Really? Really? They had to... Little kid show, why didn't you put alcohol in it? Of which Pinkie Pie was her biggest client. No bueno. That's all I have to say. Not one for drinking, it was at this point that Twilight decided to retire to her room, where she found Spike sleeping soundly in his basket. The baby dragon had likely passed out before Pinkie Pie even finished setting up the decorations. Oh, you lazy baby dragon. You're so lazy you even missed a part of Pinkie Pie's party. I don't know. And why Rainbow Dash and Applejack? Are they trying to hint at something there? Because they are. don't think I would be reading many more of this, but only if they're if it gets too far. Wait just a minute. I'm so sorry. Everyone's getting loud again. And I am back for the 4th time. Hopefully I won't get stopped this time. Hopefully. I don't know. I probably will. Where was I? She tiptoed, isn't that tiptoed? Past her slumbering assistant to her desk, where she whistled for Aloysius. Owlicious? I don't know. With a low hoot, her junior assistant flew down from the rafters, quill and parchment in one talon, and landed on the perch next to her. Twilight smiled in thanks. Then used her magic to unroll the blank scroll and dip the quill in the veil of ink at the same time. I'm going to have to stop it one more time, this time for a much longer period of time, but for you it'll just be about a second. I'm so sorry, but everyone's loud! Okay. It's not quiet in the house, but that's okay. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to stop pausing it so you can actually listen to the story. Twilight smiled in thanks, then used her magic to unroll the blank scroll and dip the quill in the veil of ink at the same time. Dear Princess Celestia. ... Well, no, not really. Just... As it always did, the sun rose to little fanfare the next morning. Ponies throughout Ponyville hopped out of their beds to begin the new day, while one particular non-pony in one particular library tree woke to pounding. More specifically, the unwelcome pounding of his heart, pumping blood into his skull. A bright shaft of light seemed to be doing its level best to burn its way through Shawn's eyelids. Had he had the wherewithal to remember that someone, or some pony in this case, was actually responsible for this, he would have cursed them and their children. As it was, it took a Herculean effort for Shawn to get an arm across his eyelids, or get across his eyes. Shawn should get an arm across. I've never heard that before. He tried and failed to pull the tiny feather blanket he'd apparently been given over his head, then settled for trying to get to. Oh, I don't know what's wrong with me today. I can't read. He tried and failed to pull the tiny feather blanket he'd apparently been given over his head, then settled for trying to put together the fuzzy memories of the night before into a coherent picture. Everything had been going fantastically, until the barrels of hard cider had shown up. Like a fool, he'd underestimated both the strength of Applejack's home brew and the capacity for certain blue Pegasi to put away booze. Ugh. I never should have taught her keg stands. What? I've never heard that before. Shawn mulled over the thoughts of getting up. It was daunting, but he knew if he didn't get something greasy into his stomach, the jackhammers in his head would remain there for the rest of the day. Eyes still closed, Shawn slowly sat up to a disturbing realization. I can't feel my legs! Frantically rubbing his eyes to get them open, Shawn tried to stay calm and think. Had the apple-flavored moonshine damaged his nervous system? Probably, because I don't like alcohol, so I'm going to assume the worst about it. I'm kidding, no I'm not. But probably. Had one of the ponies accidentally paralyzed him while in a drunken stupor? Maybe. He was on one of those beanbag couches. Shoved to one side of the room, He was on one of those beanbag couches, shoved to one side of the room for the sake of floor space. There were books scattered about, collateral damage from the rowdiness of the previous night, and there was a sign Pegasus sprawled across his legs. Rainbow Dash was snoring loudly. her chin on the floor and leaking drool all over the hardwood. That's disgusting. Somewhat belated, Shawn realized that his blanket had actually been the Pegasus's outstretched wing. He also noticed that she was lighter than she probably should have been, though maybe a bit heavier than him. Hollow bones, maybe? Like a bird, probably. I don't know. Shawn shelved the thought for later. Hey, Rainbow! He poked at her side, but got no response. He had no idea how long she'd been there. A while, if the total lack of feeling from his legs was anything to go by. Come to think of it, this is all her fault. A fuzzy recollection of being forcefully dangled upside down over a half-empty cask. A fuzzy recollection of being forcefully dangled upside down over a half-empty... I think that's cask. Came into mind. I don't know what a cask is. Maybe cast? I don't know. Tell me later. Rainbow Dash had refused to put him down until he beat Applejack's best time. Oh, that's... What is this person's who's writing this story's problem? With a grunt of effort, Shawn shoved. A second later, he was rewarded with a satisfying thump as the pony rolled right off the end of the couch. What the hey? Dash jumped up from the floor, only to grimace and clutch her head between her hooves. Ow! Morning, sunshine. How are you feeling today? Shawn's own head protested at the volume of his voice. Pretty... maybe worth it. Absolutely. No, that says petty. I don't know why it's that. Petty. Maybe worth it? Absolutely. Rainbow Dash withered under the verbal assault, then shot him a glare. She looked like she was about to follow up with something scathing when Applejack burst through the kitchen door. A large platter of pancakes balanced on her head, and a smug grin of a natural morning person graced her face. Still can't get over that stupid hard apple cider thing. That was so... If you're not comfortable showing this to an 8-year-old, then you shouldn't write it. That's just my philosophy on fanfiction for My Little Pony. If you're not comfortable showing it to an 8-year-old, don't write it. Rise and shine, every pony. It's a new day, and we gotta work, and we got lot of work ahead of us. She does not talk like that. The blonde mare didn't even bat an eyelash at the glares she received, opting instead to prance forward and offer up the pancakes as a sign of peace. For his part, Shawn had more than ready to forgive in exchange for food that smelled half as good as those pancakes did. He lunged for the platter, momentarily forgetting that he couldn't use his legs, and ended up face down on the floor, letting out a painful groan. Rainbow Dash laughed uproariously. I don't know. While Applejack sniggered. I think that's supposed to be snickered. Rainbow Dash laughed apparently, set the food down on a nearby coffee table, and helped Shawn to his feet. You okay there, Sugar Cube? Unable to stand on his wobbly legs, Shawn decided to forego answering as he crawled over to the table and plopped down beside it. He grabbed a pancake and shoved the whole thing in his mouth, relishing the apple flavor, before mumbling out an affirmative. Soon, the three were joined by Twilight and a tiny dragon, whom she introduced as Spike over his sleepy grumbling about the mess. Sure, tiny talking dragons, why not? The little reptile glowered at him all throughout breakfast, after which the ponies' and humans' disposition improved dramatically. Shawn even felt well enough to attempt small talk with the tyke while Twilight planned out their day. Hey, wait, is that... Oh, okay, I get it. This Spike thing. Hey, were you the one who filled the tub with melted chocolate and wafers? Shawn paused and tried to recall if it had, in fact, been him. Nope, that was Pinkie Pie. That was probably not a lie. Maybe. The dreams about bathing in Kit Kats notwithstanding. What about the pineapple Twilight found taped to her head? That was Pinkie Pie too. In for a pin. Wait, what? In for a pin. Wait. Where did I find a pineapple? Wait, that doesn't make any sense. So he's thinking it. It says in for a PENN. In for a pen? I don't know. In for a pin. Wait, where did I find a pineapple? He only remembered the part that came after. In Psych, you don't know where they find pineapples, but he's obsessed with them. Apparently. To be fair, he had only wanted to give Twilight a thank you gift. Pinkie had been the one who brought out the tape. Shawn was starting to think that maybe he didn't make the best decisions when drunk. He didn't make the best decisions when he's sober either. He noticed that the little dragon actually looked somewhat mollified, and Shawn wondered at just how common those kinds of antics were from the pink pony. Well, okay then, the little dragon grinned up at him. I guess I can't blame you for Pinkie's pranks, especially the ones that don't make any sense. Shawn grinned right back. Exactly. Opposable thumbs need to stick together. Here, give me a 4. Oh, okay. Opposable thumbs need to stick together. Here, give me 4. There was an awkward moment where Shawn had proceeded to teach Spike the intercases. I don't know why I can't read today. I don't know what these words are. I've had a long day and it's Monday and I'm at school and it's almost 7:30. Intercases of a proper high five before settling back into conversation. Spike knows how to do a high five. We've seen it before. So, do you do any magic? Well, I can breathe dragon fire. Twilight and the princess use it to keep in touch. Spike paused at the blank look on Shawn's face. A puff of it can be used to burn small things like letters and teleport them to some pony. It's a lot faster than using a mailmaker. He stuck his chest out, obviously proud of his talent. So you're a fax machine. A what? Technically, he's more like a cell phone. Well, I guess, no, it's a fax machine makes sense. Or a computer that sends email. Nothing, not important. Shawn's eyes had widened at a realization struck him. Say, as a magical dragon, did you ever live by the sea? What? What? No, I used to live in Canterlot. Spike looked utterly bewildered at the sudden shift in the conversation. That's too bad. But you do like frolicking in the autumn mist, right? What? None of this is making any sense! Shawn's obviously referencing something, but I don't know what it is. If anyone out there knows what it's referencing, you need to tell me. I guess I do? The baby dragon was looking around and shuffling backwards, decidedly worried about the strange smile on the human's face. And strings and sealing wax and other fancy stuff? And strings and sealing wax and other fancy... Sure, I like those too. Listen, I think I should go get started on cleaning up the mess. Probably. See you later, Puff. So, Puff the Magic Dragon? I never saw that one. I never saw that movie. What? Huffy the Magic Dragon. But, you know what? That's fine. Spike walked away. Well, he's been called Puff and Huffy. And, I don't know. Spike walked away, casting backward glances at Shawn, who whistled a catchy little tune to himself while continuing to try to rub feeling back into his leg. Maybe he was referencing the song, not the movie. The movie's about, or the song, I think, is about cocaine. No, not cocaine. No. What's it called? Weed, probably, yeah. Smoking. I don't know. I hate these references that I don't get because I don't like them. I don't like it. One day I may make a video complaining about how much I hate things. Like, bad fanfiction and the bad parts of the story and how I can't read today. Aside from 2 more spills streaming from pony-inflicted lower body numbness, Shawn's day steadily improved. Apparently, he'd been a big hit at the party that night before, and many of the attending ponies had found Shawn on their way out, promising proper welcome gifts if he would just visit their shops the following day. It should have shocked him that such an obvious, tight-knit community could open up so freely to a complete stranger. Yeah. Thanks for doing that for Sakura, Ponyville. But then, Twilight and her friends had already treated him like they'd known him for years. I guess that makes more sense. As 3 ponies and 1 limping human made their way into town, they meandered over to the... I don't know what that's... Meandered over to the first stop on the list. Rarity's shop. By this point, Shawn was not the least bit surprised at the sight of the whimsical carousel tent that stood before him. In fact, he was a little disappointed that it was only composed of 3 or 4 colors. At least the frills on every available edge were up to par. No, not wore up to par. Were up to par. There we go. A little bell rang as the 4 of them stepped through the door, accompanied by the sound of hurried footsteps rushing down a staircase. Suddenly, Rarity emerged from behind a door near the back, perfectly styled purple mane bouncing with every step. Welcome to Carousel Boutique, where every garment is chic, unique, and oh my! The prim little unicorn gasped excitedly, albeit a bit more melodramatically at the sight of the visitor. Well, if it isn't my good friend Well, if it isn't my good friends, I'm so glad you could make it. She paused and shot Shawn a look, once again making him feel vaguely like a dress-up doll. I see your wardrobe is still in need of some alterations. Twilight nodded emphatically. Oh no, I can't read today. He's going to need some new clothes if he's going to meet the princess later this evening. There's a break coming up. I'm just going to stop there and shoot this in 2 parts. No, it's okay, really. I just need some patches and I'll be all... Wait, what? Eyes wide and slack-jawed, Shawn stared at Twilight. Yes? Just a second. And I am back, hopefully, for the last time. I had to go eat some hot dog supper stuff. Let's get this over with. Twilight nodded empathetically. He's going to need some new clothes if he's going to meet the princess later this evening. Oh wait, I already read that. Plan. What? Eyes wide and slack-jawed, Shawn stared at Twilight, the disbelief plain on his expression. Oh, did I forget to mention that? I guess I was a little preoccupied, trying not to rip my hair out this morning, while removing a pineapple from my head. She smiled innocently at him, while Applejack and Rainbow sniggered from behind her. In fact, we all have a dinner appointment with them at half past 7. The other 2 mares stopped laughing and blanched, suddenly very aware of how incredibly hungover they looked. I'll meet you guys at Pinkie's in a little bit. Dash disappeared in a flash of color, a fading rainbow trail leading out the nearest window. Well, I'll be. I just remembered. I still need to cart them casks before back to the farm. Stay out of trouble, Sugar Cube. Applejack directed the last bit at Shawn before smiling and rushing out the door. Traitors, Shawn thought darkly. The two remaining ponies sighed and shook their heads in unison, while Shawn went back to staring at Twilight with narrowed eyes. He'd never thought she had it in her. He never thought she had it in her. Of course, she realized this means war. Wait, what? The two remaining ponies sighed and shook their heads in unison. Shawn went back to staring at Twilight with narrowed eyes. He'd never thought she had it in her. Of course, he realized this means war. Shawn thought she looked mildly perturbed, though she seemed to recognize it as a figure of speech. Giggling uncertainly, Twilight glanced over at Rarity. Did you come up with something good? I can't read today. Have I ever not? Nose up in the air, Rarity gave Twilight her best affronted look before stepping forward to more closely inspect the condition of Shawn's garments. I can easily fix these, but not before dinner. Fortunately for you, darling, I've spent all last night putting together the most marvelous ensemble. Shawn suppressed a shudder of trepidation as she led both him and Twilight up the stairs to her workroom. How much more of this? Oh, there's still so much more of this. Okay, I'm just gonna stop it there. You know what? I'm just gonna stop it there because I'm not having a very good day with these readings. So, yeah. I guess I'll see you in part 2 if I ever actually decide to read that. Hopefully I won't forget and end up doing whatever chapter's left. Why am I having such a bad day today with reading? Anyway, so I guess I'll record chapter 2, then you can watch that, so, I gotta get back to the story I'm writing. You should send me messages if you want me to read it. It's actually quite interesting. It's very, very... I don't know how I can explain it. It's just really big. I mean, that's only how I can explain it. It's a big crossover. That's pretty much it. It's a huge crossover of a lot of things. And if you want me to read it, because it's very exciting, I think it's very well done. And yeah. So I guess I'll put up chapter 2. I'll quit writing bumbling, by the way. I'll put up chapter 2. And you can listen to that. Or, no, wait, part 2 of this chapter. So, I'll put up part 2 whenever I do. So, until then, or until another story, I will talk to you guys later. Or see you guys later, actually, that's what I say. I don't know, I'm having such a bad day. So, until then, I'll see you guys later. Brody on!